If you're a skinny guy struggling to get jacked, watch this video to learn how I went from this to this and learn the steps that I took in order to get from this to this and how you can implement those steps in order to get jacked yourself. I started lifting around 3.5 years ago at 19 years old. I weighed 150 pounds at 6'2". Here you can see I'm a string bean. I wanted to feel more confident about the person in the mirror, and I also just wanted to get stronger and have fun with it. I got into the gym with very minimal knowledge about building muscle. I saw very quick results though, nonetheless, thanks to being skinny. When you're skinny, you don't have a layer of fat covering up any progress that you make. And you're also incredibly hypersensitive to any stimulation that you give your muscles. So no matter what you do, you could, look at a dumbbell the wrong way and you put on 5 pounds of mass like that. Because of this very quick progress, I fell in love with getting bigger and stronger and seeing the weight increase. And that led me to become addicted to seeing the weight on the scale increase and hitting new PRs that I pretty much compromised my health. I decided to intentionally full send a bulk and got up to 221 pounds at my heaviest. After getting blood work done at 221 pounds, I had high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high liver enzymes, bad acne, as well as poor cardio. Funny enough, I remember a specific time I was walking to class in the morning. It was an 8 a.m. lab course, I remember. To get to this lab, however, I had to walk up 4 flights of stairs. 4 flights shouldn't be much of a bother. I remember specifically one morning I got up to the top of those stairs and I was huffing and puffing and I was getting hot flashes and it was just not a good time. It was a new low for me, but I could deadlift 500. So who cares, right? And bear in mind, this was only year 2 of training. I don't think it takes an expert to know that 70 pounds in 2 years is not exactly healthy. After getting fat, I decided to get shredded. And I finally felt like the best version of myself and was so proud of the physique that I achieved. And I had more confidence in myself than ever. I truly loved what I saw in the mirror. It took me roughly 20 to 24 weeks, however, to get down to 171 pounds at the lightest. That's 50 pounds. I cut 50 pounds and it took all of 6 months. 6 months. That is a long cut. I don't regret it, but I will never bulk to the extent at which I did in those first 2 years. I've learned now that it's just not worth it. And you can put on size at a considerable steady rate without having to destroy your body. That honestly being from a physical and mental standpoint, because you don't have to feel like shit about yourself when you're a fat lard at 220 pounds when you shouldn't be. Since then, I've eaten mostly clean whole foods with foods I want to have here and there. I like to follow the 80-20 diet where you have clean foods 80% of the time and then 20% of the time you just have what you want. Basically a lean bulk, not in a crazy surplus or anything. I've gained very little body fat while gaining size, and I'm currently sitting at around 180 pounds. This is how you should build your physique. Over the years, I've learned that these 5 steps are the best steps to effectively, steadily get the progress that you want in the gym if you're a skinny guy trying to get jacked. Number 1, you got to find your caloric maintenance. You need to know this. Your caloric maintenance is the amount of calories your body needs in a day in order to maintain its current weight. This is important and it segues into step 2, which is eating a 100 to 200 calorie surplus of clean whole foods. What this means is you will be eating 100 to 200 calories more than your body needs in a day in order to maintain its weight. It's just your caloric maintenance and you add 100 to 200 calories more than it. Step 3, of course, is the training aspect. And what I've found works for me and honestly will work for the general populace of people is to hypertrophy train utilizing sports science literature. I really and truly do believe that leveraging science will help you build more muscle. Implementing science-based lifting that you see off TikTok into your training is not 100% of the time going to be a 100% surefire way to build the most amount of mass possible. However, a lot of it is tested and effective, and it does work for the general populace of people. So give it a shot. If you like it, keep it. If it doesn't work for you, well, at least now you have more knowledge about what works for you and what doesn't. So try to leverage the parts of science-based lifting to your advantage. And I promise you will probably see really good results from that. The last 2 steps are going to be how you maintain your progress to make sure you stay on a steady route to success. That said, step number 4, adjust your training for novelty and variety. We'll get into more details about that a little bit later. And step number 5, adjust your macros as needed. So now let's talk about how I will personally implement these steps for you to get you jacked. Step number one, I will arrange your macro split based on a calculated estimation of your daily caloric maintenance. After reviewing how your body responds to that amount of food for 1 to 2 weeks, we move to step two. The reason why we do this is we want to make sure that that estimation, which may be a little bit off, is your maintenance or not. So after 1 to 2 weeks, if you are very slowly gaining weight, we know that your maintenance is actually a little bit lower than the calculated estimation. And vice versa, if you are actually losing some weight, then we know that your maintenance is probably a little bit higher, and that means you have a faster metabolism than most. But you can still gain mass, not impossible. So after those first 1 to 2 weeks, and we come to a reasonable conclusion at where you are currently, we move to step two. Step two will involve an adjustment of the calories you consume daily to start you in the right direction for maximum muscle gain, as well as optimal health. This is the 100 to 200 calories that we will add to give you a surplus of calories daily. Step number three, for your training, I will communicate with you about your schedule and training related interests to customize the perfect training program for you. So if you're someone who works 60 hours a week and you can only make it to the gym 3 times in a week, well, hey, we can make it work for you. If you're someone who wants to be in the gym 6 to 7 times a week like a maniac, then we can make it work for you. If you're somebody who wants to implement a lot of powerlifting style movements into your training, we can make it work for you. It's no problem. We will find the perfect training program for you. And the program that we write up for you will be written to ensure you get stronger week by week, as well as build you as much muscle as possible, of course. We'll do this by using tested and effective sports science protocols. This doesn't mean you're going to go in there and do a set of something you've never heard of before in your entire life to a set of 2 RIR. It just means that we're going to use everything at our disposal to make sure you gain the most amount of muscle possible and achieve the most amount of hypertrophic stimulus possible. All the knowledge in the world about training and dieting and nutrition is good. However, without consistency, you will not be successful and you will not get the results that you want. A somewhat popular dude by the name of Chris Bumstead, who's pretty good at bodybuilding, says the hardest thing is doing the easiest thing for an extended period of time. Listen, you don't need to be perfect. You just have to do what's required of you today, and you'll be successful. I like to think about it like this. If you can just do what you need to do today and just make it till the end of the night, then you will be extremely successful. If you can just do that every single day, then you're good. This is a good point to add because these next steps are all about maintaining steady progress, ensuring that we obliterate your goals. This takes us to steps 4 and 5. I will adjust your program about every 5 to 8 weeks for the sake of keeping you from getting bored of the same old stuff, as well as for maximizing the stimulus to your muscles, aka a novel stimulus, as you may have heard. Over time, after doing the same old thing, the same old movements in the gym, the same weight, you're going to get bored of doing it and you're going to want some variety. So for keeping things fresh and fun for you, because all in all, you want to be having a good time in the gym. You want to be having fun. You need to want to go to the gym in order to be successful. I know that that's a weird thing to say after the last slide that we just covered. There's going to be some days where you genuinely just don't want to go and you just have to suck it up and do what you need to do today, as I just mentioned earlier. But for the most part, you need to be doing things that you enjoy in order to stay on the right path. And the best way to do that is to take some things out when they get boring, put in some different things, and just adjust as needed to make sure you're having a good time and enjoying your training. It's also worth mentioning that doing the same thing for a long period of time is going to cause you to hit a plateau in not only that movement, but in a hypertrophic stimulus for the muscle that you're training entirely. And basically what that means is, let's say you're doing an incline hammer strength chest press for 6 months straight. Well, eventually that machine is not going to stimulate much hypertrophic benefits for you at all, and you're not going to see much growth from it. You might not stop growing from it, but the growth, it just becomes very, very tapered off, and it's just very exponential. You need to just switch it up. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. Just switch it up here and there. Arnold said shock the muscle. I'm pretty sure this is what he meant. So yeah, adjust your training here and there. Not only does your body get used to the same old training methods, but it also gets used to the number of food that you'll be consuming. So as your body gets used to the surplus of food, I will up the number of calories you consume when needed to be sure you continue to see steady weight gain as you progress. Typically, we'll start pushing for more calories once you start to see a weekly average taper off. So if we're aiming for around 2 pounds of weight gain per week and you're doing fine, 2 pounds per week, 2 pounds per week, 2 pounds per week. And then at weeks 3, 4, and 5, you go from about 1.5 to 1.25 to like 1 pound. Then we'll start upping the calories a little bit more because you're starting to taper off and you're not making as many gains. And then when we do, the hope is that you will be gaining about 2.5 pounds and then 2 pounds a week, 2 pounds a week, 2 pounds a week, and boom, steady progress. And, you know, when it happens again and you start to plateau, more calories. Once again, not rocket science. You just change and alter and adjust things as you go. If you want more information about how to implement this effectively for yourself, go ahead and DM me the word jacked on Instagram, link in description below. Or if you're just looking to go ahead and book a call with me directly, the link will also be in the description below. I'm looking forward to talking with you, and I'm looking forward to helping you smash your goals. And yeah, thank you for watching.